I'm going to sign a few executive orders to strengthen the immigration system, building on the executive actions I took on day one to protect dreamers.
With the stroke of a pen, President Biden signs new immigration orders. More now on the new administration's plans when it comes to immigration. President Biden continues to change the policies of the previous administration and has more plans on the horizon. Joining us now is immigration attorney Steve Maggi, a naturalized American citizen himself. And Steve, one of Biden's plans is to reestablish a task force on new Americans to streamline the naturalization process. This is a big news here in the Diocese of Immigrants. There are 30,000 Dreamers right here in New York City. So what does this mean for them?
Well, it's good news because as part of that same executive order, there's also a mention of the public charge rule, and there's a note that's going to be taken away, and that's what really complicated the naturalization process. Not only are there a lot of people applying, but they changed the form over a year ago and added all these questions about public benefits, and that scared a lot of people into not applying because they may have accepted some sort of federal or state benefit at some point along the way when they were residents, and that scared people away. So in the same executive order, he's saying we're going to streamline this. That means to me that they're going to make it shorter, they're going to remove the public charge rule from it, and really it's just going to be about whether you've committed crimes or done something that makes you ineligible, and if you haven't and you've paid your taxes, you should be able to apply and receive your citizenship. So it's very good news.
All right, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops is praising Biden, saying in a statement, "We welcome these executive orders on migration, which will help to ensure that immigrants and refugees are treated humanely and in accordance with their God-given dignity." Biden wants to help Central America stem the flow of migrants to the U.S.-Mexico border, provide other ways to migrate. But will these policy changes increase the number of migrants at the southern border?
I think that they might. The question is, can you do it in a systematic way that protects each individual as they're going through the process? Right now, because of what's called migrant protection protocols that were instituted by President Trump, you have 50,000 or more people at the borders, at different border entry crossings that are waiting in these camps that are put in very difficult, precarious situations while they wait because they're not allowed to present their asylum applications. And so that has to change. We have to revert back to at least where it was before, where if you could prove what's called well-founded fear, you have credible fear enough to warrant an actual hearing in front of a judge, then you would be paroled or admitted into the U.S. and allowed eventually to present your case. And that's not the case now. So you have all these people waiting outside, most of whom have come from Central America and don't have the resources to return to Central America. They're stuck at the border.
All right, some critics say many of the executive orders are just calling for existing policies to be reviewed without any real changes that will make an immediate impact. Do you think Biden needs to do more?
I really do. I've reviewed all of them so far. There are 8 so far, and every Friday there could be more. But it's really a lot of rhetoric right now. It sounds great on paper. They talk about being humane. They talk about clarifying things, about revisiting committees and task forces. But there's not really any plan that's solid, and there's no clarity in terms of when this will actually put into motion and what could happen. And what that makes me think is that really until there is comprehensive immigration reform, there's not going to be a whole lot of change. And that's a little discouraging. So I am disappointed so far because we knew as soon as President Biden was elected and they announced it and made it official, there have been more than 2.5 months since then. We would have figured that the executive orders would really have a lot more meat to them and we would see how it's actually going to be implemented. And we don't see that right now. It's a lot of flowery language, but there's not a lot of punch to it.
All right, well, they say there is more to come, so we'll have to wait and see. Immigration attorney Steve Maggi, thanks for being here with us again.
Thank you very much, Christine.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.